taken by David.
I'd rather come with the big opinions. I'll be the voice of reason for the two.
And it's a good thing that you're sitting in the middle. Let's see how it plays out. David, just 2 match days left in the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League. Obviously, the league title decided over the weekend. Scotland, following in the footsteps of the Black Rhino side of 1984, winning it in their debut season. I mean, of course, we're going to unpack the relegation matrix as we talk about our topic today, which is the Premier Soccer League relegation roulette. Who is going to survive? But your take on Scotland lifting it and, having, I think, 9 teams still potentially facing the chop?
Yeah, I think it was a very clear message, from the start, of the season. When they got promoted, they just went into the market, bringing everyone who they thought maybe, they can win the league title. They also brought in Tondera and Ndirai. They knew what they wanted, and I think with 2 games to go, that intent has already been proved. And when there's history, one day it was going to be broken, and Scotland has done just that. And to me, I would just want to congratulate, Scotland family, sponsors, Scott Sakupanya, the owner of the club, everyone who is associated with Scotland. I think it's a job well done. 2025. Now looking forward to 2026 season, including the Champions League, African Champions League. So, to me, I thought that history with the Black Rhinos, I think Taddy will concur with me because he's a Black Rhinos, son as well.
Oh, so. you see, I know, Teddy, I know you were in Gweru and you covered that match between Scotland and Kwekwe United, who were already relegated. In the end, it seemed more of a procession, a 5-1 win. But maybe when you reflect on the season, I know we've still got 2 match days to go, where do you think Scotland won it? Because when you go back to the start, it looked like, that opener against Triangle in the first couple of games, they started and stumbled. Where do you think, for you, when you look back, Mavira Vida were able to just march towards the title?
Yeah, I think kudos to the Scotland family as a whole, right from the top, from Scott Sakupanya himself, the owner, to the supporters, to players, as well as Coach Tondera Ndirai. I think what stood out for Scotland was actually the depth. When you are talking of depth, they had 2-3 players at every position. And 2-3 players, quality players. You talk of the right back, you see there was Kodnos Murira, there was Madake, there was also Chigumira. You look at the left back, there was Bolo, there was Ronald Fumbidzai, KV can also play there. So in terms of what exactly happened or what exactly inspired them, I think it was depth more than anything else, because you look at the investment at the start of the season, as well as the investment in the middle of the season when they brought those 5 players, including Knowledge Msona, who played an inspirational role during the second half of the season. They also brought Kudamiaba. They also brought Terence Jukamanja. Those quality players with international experience. So I think more than anything else, depth played a very big role.
At the top of the season, the big conversation was around the way that Scotland splashed the money. Terry has talked about the signings that they made in pre-season, even during the mid-season transfer window. Now that they've enjoyed the success, they've been crowned champions. Was it worth it? When you look at it, all that investment, is it justified? Do the means justify the ends?
Yeah, I think when you look at the business that they did at the start of the season, even during the mid-season, obviously when you splash big, expectations were that you need to win the championship. And I think they vindicated themselves. And looking also even the gamble that they did in the signings, I think it also vindicates them now. Because when you sign these players, sometimes you're just taking chances. You're not sure if they're going to deliver or not. But expectations were that because they splashed big, they brought in big names, everyone expected that they were supposed to win the championship. But I would also want to, in as much as I give credit to Scott Sakupanya for the investment that he did, and also the business that generally they did, look at the excitement that they brought back into the PSL games. I'm sure that most of these clubs, they did cash in from the gate takings from hosting Scotland. A lot of fans, we saw a lot of fans coming to watch these games. We saw a lot of celebrities, socialites coming to watch these games. So I think I also need to applaud them for that. And they also have a lot of joints where they sell their merchandise. They brought in the issue of membership, which is something that we had almost forgotten about, say for maybe for Islanders that still has the membership cards. So I think in that front they did a lot. But also, let's not forget Tondera Indiraya. I think if you remember very well, at the start of the season, we really talked about how much this relationship between the employer and the Tondera Indiraya will also determine what's going to happen at the end of the season. So I think that patience that they had with him, even when he dropped points here and there, they remained patient. So I think that the fact that they were patient with him throughout the season, it's some sort of made them remain consistent up there. And also looking at the pressure that was around that Scotland camp, you look at the players themselves, we have got renowned names who play in the national team, who need to have frequent game time so that they stay fit for the national team. You are also faced with youngsters who need game time so that they can also make crack into the national team. And he had to balance both. Also looking at external pressures, you look also maybe the talk around issues of maybe interference that came here and there. But the fact that he was able to stay grounded, he was able to keep his team grounded, I think we need to applaud him for that.
All right, so yep, that is a big congratulations to Scotland, the 2025 Castle Lager Premier League champions. They will be handed their trophy during the last match of the season, and they will be away to Tel 1. So we're done. It's done and dusted when it comes to the top of the table. We know who the big dogs of Zimbabwean football are, but when it comes to those that are going to be shown the exit, and I'm going to have to be demoted to Division 1, still up for grabs. We do know that Kwekwe United have already been relegated, but for the about 7-8 teams that are still in that relegation matrix, it's more for a relegation roulette. And the big question we want to answer with our topic today is who will survive. I know, people have been following teams like Dynamos, Caps, Highlanders. They've been in the mix. We've got teams like Yada, which have become sort of the masters of surviving at the last minute. But can they pull off a miracle, a triangle? Ever since Genesis Mangombe came in, they've had quite a turnaround. They're still stuck in there. Greenfield, blowing hot and cold throughout the season. So, it's hard to look at one specific team and say, these guys deserve to go down. So, I guess we'll ask it the other way. Who deserves to stay up? But before we get into all that, let's get into our trending stories for this morning. And we'll start for this evening, actually. And we start with our play of the week. And it goes to Yada striker Innocent Mucheneka. His well-struck penalty against the Herentals there was all that Yada needed to keep their top flight survival on track. And that's our play of the week. Yet they're one of the many teams that are still in that relegation dogfight, and I think we'll zone in on them later on, but that's our play of the week. But I guess the big story when it comes to our favorite team in the land, the Warriors, is about the incoming head coach who has been tasked with taking us to the Africa Cup of Nations in December in Morocco. It is a Romanian coach, Mario Marinica. He is the new Warriors coach, announced late on Tuesday. As a coach who's got over 25 years of experience, mostly with academies and scouting work, but at international level, he has worked with the Flames of Malawi and also Liberia. But he is the man now who's been given a 1-year contract by the football governing body, ZIFA, to take charge of the Warriors. And I'm sure we talked about deep dives, big opinions, football passion. I'm sure as we unpack this announcement, we'll get that. And I guess let's start with the big opinion of Veronica. Obviously, this news just a little over 24 hours since it's filtered out. So I know, usually when big news like this comes out, there's a lot of emotional, passionate reaction, whether in the positive or the negative. But now that we've had time to sort of like do our research, look into who this guy is, what he potentially brings, I mean, simple. Is he the right man for the job?
When it comes to this issue of the Warriors and ZIFA, honestly, I'm beginning to feel that it's not actually about the coaches. It's about the environment. How many coaches have we changed? But we still find ourselves in the same old trajectory that we might have caused the exit of the previous coach. So I think instead of looking at these coaches, let's look at ourselves first.
And what should we be looking at? I mean, is there something wrong with us? Is it, when you say ourselves, are we looking at ZIFA, or are we looking at us as the Warriors fans, or just the Zimbabwean football family at large?
I think it starts with ZIFA itself. Is the environment conducive? How is our recruitment process? What are we settling for? Do we have the finances to attract quality coaches? If we do have the finances, then what's happening with the recruitment process? Because eventually it ends up feeling like we are settling for way less than we would really want.
With Coach Mario, do you feel we settle? I mean, there was a shortlist that was circulating. I think Stuart Baxter was amongst them. We had several coaches who've got experience across the continent. When you look at us and our decision by ZIFA to then go for Coach Mario, did we settle? Is that is that what you're trying to insinuate?
I have got a feeling that some of the processes were probably bypassed. Because when you look at the time frame, from the advertising, from the time that they announced how many applications came through, to the time that they narrowed down to a certain number, and the time that they announced the ultimate position taker, I think some of the processes were actually bypassed.
Teddy, I know, especially through some of our top publications, whether it's the Herald or Sunday Mail or Age Metro, you've been one of the guys who's been leading these conversations. I've been talking about who could potentially come in, what the right person should be doing. Were you surprised by this appointment, or you saw it coming?
Yeah, obviously, no one amongst the Zimbabweans is happy with the appointment of Super Mario.
Are you speaking for everyone?
Super Mario. Judging from the way social media he has been speaking, no one is actually happy. But then I think we should also respect ZIFA. We should also respect that appointment. We should give him the chance that he deserves and see what happens when he takes charge of our Warriors. I think he is the first coach to be appointed by this current ZIFA executive, because they actually inherited him from the normalization committee. So I think we should also give him a chance. He is someone with AFCON experience. You remember he coached Malawi and actually led them into the last 16 stage that the Warriors has never reached.
So they even beat the Warriors on the
yes,
way there.
They actually beat the Warriors 2-1 with that Gabadino Mango brace in Cameroon. That was in 2022 January. So we should also give him a chance. It means maybe he has got that clout, because the way he beat us as Warriors, looking at the composition of the Malawi squad, I think he has got something. Let's just give him a chance. Let's respect ZIFA at times, rather than trying to attack for no reason.
You talked about, now you generalized and say that most football fans are not happy with the appointment. From the social media monitoring that you've been doing, why do you think the average football fan did not take this positively, this appointment? Is it because it's not a big name? What are some of the reasons that you've been able to sort of glean from just monitoring the chatter on social media?
People and football fans generally love big names. They want big names. They want to be associated with big names because in that short list there was Stuart Baxter. So everyone was rallying for Stuart Baxter. They thought Stuart Baxter would be given the post. But then when Super Mario emerges as the
you've already created Super Mario. David, obviously I know you're not just a football fan. You've played the game. You've worked with some of the best coaches. I think you can think of one, Charles McLeod, I think, revered coach. From the chatter that you've had with either former, current players, coaches, what has been the response to this appointment, especially given some of the candidates that were reportedly putting their hand up for the job?
Yeah, I think to start off, Teach, I think CAF never said Kuti. You can only appoint a coach with a CAF Pro or a UEFA Pro. They put CAF A or CAF Pro license or diploma. But Isusu as Zifa, Vagabava is a CAF Pro, which means they eliminated all the coaches that are in Zimbabwe.
Maybe that's signaling they intend to say that they want somebody at that level.
No, it's not. It's not about those UEFA licenses, Teach. Michael Nisi had that UEFA license. But to be honest, he was out of sorts. But for us to go forward, even Tikadabuti Titaura about South Africa, we're not at that level. If we talk about Zambia, we might be at that level. But Zambia, because they've won AFCON, they know how it is to win African, championship. So for us, it was more to do with competent coaches, not incompetent coaches. Now we have left the Michael Nisi era. If you look at his CV, Michael Nisi, it had always been a TD, under 21, TD, Seychelles head coach, Rwanda head, all those coaches, 1 year. So we come again to Mario, like what Tade said, Super Mario. And tadzokera futi koko. Kune CV rakadaro. TD, and Scout. He spent most of his entire life as a scout. But
there's most too recent jobs.
Scout.
Chief scout.
You can say that again. But Tish, let's be honest. Shogutta akasvitsa Malawi last 16. The coach who took Malawi to AFCON was not the one who was, appointed head coach. They appointed him because he was the TD with Malawi, Super Mario. And he went with the team. He went to Liberia, signed a 2-year contract. He just lasted 6 months and he left. So those 2 jobs tells you something, Tish. He is incompetent in those 2 jobs that he had in the last 2 years.
Do you have any is he going to be any different from Michael Nisi, do you think?
To be honest, yes, Malawi played some good football to AFCON, to Cameroon. They played some good football when they defeated us. Yeah, it was something else. But after that now, Tish, he came back in the qualifiers. They had to sack him after 11 games. Then they appointed our own, Callisto Pasua. That should tell you something. And so we are hiring. They trusted Callisto. They trusted Callisto.
Malawi are firing for coaches and hiring ours.
No, Callisto is, we might say, he's a Zimbabwean, he's a Malawian origin as well. Yeah. So obviously they had to go for their own, who was not even born there, but he's got relatives there, in Callisto Pasua. But for us, Tish, ndakaona chino one, tinoramba tichitarisirana pasi. We should have said CAF A. Then panouya ma-applications acho ndizvo tochinyazotarisa tovhetawo. We put our own news that are filtering. Zambia has done that. They fired Avram Grant. They've put their own, and their own wacho ma former Zambian nationals vakatotama muzambian national team. And why not isusu timboitwa izvozvo? And ukanzwana kuti dinga takamboita naNorman Mapeza, takamboita
naKalista here,
but ukatarisa Tadika, Zimbabwe is our own,
of course,
and it's our own. And
so we should not consider foreign coaches. Is that what you're saying?
But I still feel that Isusu and as Zimbabweans, Zifa should do better, because remember, ndo vanoona bora muno muZimbabwe, ndo vanoziva kuti macoaches atrainwa. Ngavatraine macoach.
They need to capacitate them.
Exactly, ngavatraine macoach.
But obviously, they're still
But
working their way. I mean,
Kunzeka.
they're less than, no, I'm saying they're less than a year in office. At what point would they have had an opportunity to capacitate the coaches in this short period of time? We also have to be fair to them in terms of providing that context.
Aye, what
like you
is
said,
Ramba?
they inherited Nice from the normalization committee.
Exactly.
And this is their first appointment.
But hatisi kuzviramba tichika izvozvo but kuti isusu hazvina kutangira pana namagwizika and his exco and even kubva kumashure for the last 10 years teach alright tongoti the last 8 years did they do justice to the coaches, especially to the local coaches? No, because for the last 8 years gore rineri ndo patitwa CAF C locally.
There's a CAF B refresher that
And
was happening.
refresher ndiye vanhu vakaita CAF B kudhara 2017 no inini I just did my CAF B recently and it, but ndikuti nini pane vakaita 2017 vanotori nemacertificates asati auya ndo vamwe vacho vari kuita refresher course iyoyi nevamwe macoaches. If you look at that group of coaches varipo pape, Arthur Tutan is there, is a re-owned coach akaita CAF B yakudhara and anaki Ignatius Peter they are there and mune macoaches akawanda meme vari kuita CAF B license ningiri refresher course ya teach vekutoti by now vangadai vari kutaura kuti if pro comes muno muZimbabwe those are the same coaches vari kuita vari kunge vachitoenda.
All right, so we want to hear your opinions in terms of what you think about the new Warriors coach. But Taddy, before we just move on and talk about other stories that we'll unpack, there has been suggestions that we went for Coach Mario because he was the cheapest option. What's your take on that?
Yeah, that could be true, but I wouldn't want to dwell much into speculation. Magwis is there, Madam Wadzana is there, Ken Indebele is there. Why should we ask him?
So we'll ask them. This is the technical committee. There is a technical committee. Yeah. I think that's a story that we can try and follow and chase up and see.
So I think we should confirm with them first.
Instead of giving people the answers.
Sometimes tatika basa iri gaidi rekuappointa coach vacho vaaplayera mukasvika down to 10 tipei mazita to the public kuti pane 10 makocha.
Yes, wakabudisa mazita 10 ma shortlisted candidates. Yeah, wakamabudisa.
And ukatarisa pa what isu takazopedza tangoona pa 5 ini nangu 10 andakawaona pa
ndakazoona confirm kuti ndakamaona
but pa 5 acho ka and pa 5 acho mukanyatsoita due diligence. Is it about money or it's about someone wamakatarisa?
I think David, what we'll do, we'll try and get the answers to that. Otherwise we'll spend the whole day on this because we're very passionate about the beautiful game, more so when it affects our national team. But whether we like it or not, whether we agree with it or not, for the foreseeable future, starting with the upcoming FIFA international break, where the Warriors will face Qatar and Algeria. It is going to be a Marinica there who will be coaching the Warriors.
Super Mario.
Super Mario. I'm trying to get I'm still getting used to the name as well. So I think Coach Mario is going to work. Super Mario, whatever you want to call it. But let's keep talking about ZIFA, and they have appointed 4 legendary figures: Peter Ndlovu, Bruce Kobler, Benjani Mwaruwaru, and Nomsa Moyo as official ZIFA ambassadors. A decision approved at the executive committee meeting, which was held on the 2nd of November 2025. And the initiative there celebrates their exceptional contributions to football and tasks them with promoting Zimbabwean football locally and globally. Each ambassador will have a specific focus. Peter Ndlovu will lead the youth engagement and talent development. Grubler will work on international relations, mentorship, and global promotion. Benjani Mwaruwaru will head community outreach and grassroots initiatives, whilst Nomsa Moyo will champion women's football and gender inclusion. I'm very happy for this. It's not something that we've seen, but the immediate thing that stuck out for me when you're talking about legends, and just quickly before we go to the break, you can agree or disagree with me. I thought I wanted to see Sunday Mofu Marimo. He could have been ambassador for technical development, because when you look at coaches and the impact on Zimbabwean football, took us to our first AFCON. I mean, he has time and time again worked with the Warriors. I would have wanted to see him. I mean, you can't question Benjani, you can't question Peter Ndlovu, you can't question Grobler or even Nomsa Moyo. But I felt like maybe we should have thrown in, I don't know, what do you think? We should have thrown in Mofu in there as an ambassador as well. I mean, he's 70-something now. I mean, You know,
73.
let's celebrate him whilst still. Let's give him something.
And the fact that at that age he still finds it important for him to even come and watch local games. So I think that speaks a lot about the passion that he has. Obviously, experience-wise, he has been there, he has seen that. So obviously, I think such mature minds would have done justice to the game, just roping him in as an ambassador.
All right, so maybe I'm putting his name up. Let's in the next round of vacancies. because I didn't see anything about technical or coaching, so that could be his key focus area.
Maybe they are going for youth and Vadiki Kunana Sandi, because remember there's also Madinda, there's also Moses Chunga.
But he's an ambassador, is it?
It's
an ambassadorial role.
On those roles still teach, because ukajamba kubva panana Peter nana Benji, which means wajamba futi mu generation and is wakwenda kunana Mofu.
I don't Mofu as a coach, not Mofu as a player.
No, Mofu is an ambassador. Mofu is an ambassador. That's why that unongochito jamba in a generation, because generation ya Peter na Benji is so close like this. Saka ukajamba yo generation yana sticks mtizwa yana Moses Chunga, which means pakati papa zvagara zvinotonga nemutauro, saka vanenge vaiswa ivavo, let's work with those vari.
Maybe you'd also like to know kuti avango perfect chete maambassador angagara amboripo pa normalization committee. You still remember there was Peter Ndlovu, there was also Benjamin Mariwalo, there was Moses Chunga, as well as Maringwa Desmond. They were also ambassadors. So this is not the first time, but they have maybe perfected it.
Fine-tuned it. Yeah. All right, it is The Couch. We'll be back shortly, and we'll be taking a deeper dive as we give you our big opinions and share our football passion. And our topic today is the Premier Soccer League relegation roulette. Who will survive? We'll be back shortly.
Harare. Tune into the beat.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, your source for news, business, sports, fashion, and more.
Experience the pulse of Harare's culture and lifestyle.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, Harare's top radio station.
Join the conversation with Zimbabwe's top personalities.
Subscribe now for fresh and infotainment content daily.
Capital 100.4 FM, Harare's heartbeat.
You are watching The Couch here on ZTM Prime. Remember, you can get social with us. I know whether it's me, David, Veronica, or Teddy, we're always going back and forth, bantering, agreeing, disagreeing. You also have an opportunity. Jump in the comment section. Let us know whether you agree with Tadi or you disagree with him. I know you're not going to agree with David because I never agree with him, so it's fine. Of all the things you think I'll agree to, of all that, David, you just tried me. But anyway,
Coach David.
Coach David. Anyway, our topic today is a Premier Soccer League relegation roulette. Who will survive? And let's start with our power rankings after the last match day in the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League. Obviously, we did touch on this at the top of the show. Scotland taking an unassailable 7-point lead at the top of the table. They are crowned champions with 2 matches to go. Moors were amongst the gainers. They're leapfrogging Simba Bora into second place. That was courtesy of their 1-0 win over Triangle. Simba Bora. And I think maybe, Taddy, let's start there. It seems by the time they sort of got knocked out of the Chibuku Super Cup, they tried to go to Africa. The wheels just came off. What went wrong with Simba Bora? I mean, you would have thought that they would take Scotland or Moors or whoever was going to claim the title to the wire, but things have just fallen apart. Where did they get it wrong?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that we saw Simba Bora sliding down a bit, especially when they were playing in the CAF Champions League. I think it was something psychological. You know, players naturally want to give their all during CAF games, but then slacken a bit when it comes to the local scene.
So you think maybe they were a bit distracted with the African safari and maybe trying to look at winning a Chibuku Super Cup? Veronica, I'm not going to bring David on this one. I mean, I should have, but I'm going to be professional because Manica Diamonds, also amongst the big movers there, moving up to 37 points, but it's not just them. Dynamos, Bikita Minerals, also now just pulling away from the relegation zone. Obviously, there's 2 rounds of matches remaining. But then when you look at where Highlanders and Chicken Inn are, and even go as far up as where Caps United are, there's still a lot of teams that are still in that relegation matrix. But looking at those 3, Manica, Dynamos, and Bikita Vero, I think which are some of the most significant results in terms of their battle for survival from those 3?
Yeah, I want to look at it. Looking at Manica Diamonds, last weekend beating Ngezi Platinum Stars, I think that took a lot of character. Ngezi is up there and Manica down there. Obviously, when you go on a spell maybe where you drop a lot of points, the confidence levels even also drop. So I think it took a lot of character for them to stand up to Ngezi Platinum Stars. Then also for Dynamos, obviously, since the arrival of Kelvin Kaindu, I think they've done so well. And standing up to Bikita, despite the narrow victory, 3 points is 3 points. So I think I would also want to see them continue in that trajectory. But you look at, especially their fixture against Yada this weekend, Yada are not a pushover, despite them blowing hot and cold. I think this one is going to be a blockbuster because if both sides need to collect maximum points. If any of the 2 is going to drop the points, then it means they are now in real danger.
David, let's talk about Yada. Obviously, they had a crucial win against Herentos, but it speaks to where they find themselves on the table. That despite that win, they're still second from a bottom and 2 points away from safety in terms of where the current standings are. But before I bring you in, let's hear from their coach, Brenham Siska, who's confident that they will be applying their trade in the top flight come next season.
For now, I think the boys for the 3 points, anyway, I would just say for the 5 points is we drew the 2 games and we're still going on for the next 6 points. So we have to work hard so that we continue grinding results. Yes, personally, 100% we are not going anywhere. As long as we are going to score goals and then defend them, we still remain in the Premier League. Personally, as a coach, you always love to have all the 6 points. So we are going to work on that so that we can get the 6 points.
Brenham Siska, they are talking a big game. I mean, if you were just to listen to him, you don't look at the table, you don't look at Yada's form so far, you don't look at their upcoming fixture against Dynamos. You think, I'm confident they're going to survive. But David, the reality is so much more different. And when you look at Yada in particular, of all the teams that are in that relegation matrix, they understand this battle for survival a lot more than anybody else. Season in, season out, they're always living up to their nickname, the Miracle Boys. But it feels like this season, more than any other season, they might actually need a miracle. Do you think Brenham Siska's confidence is justified to say, you know what, who'll be here next season? And where is he getting that confidence from?
Yeah, they need bigger miracles, to be honest. And what Yada teach, each and every season, they've got very good players. Each and every season, they recruit very well. But because Ucharis now, in terms of performances, I think there are a lot of factors that we need to look into. The other system, all in all, teach. I'm even surprised myself. If you look at Yada, the names that are there, they've got players that have won the league before. And I'm Cheneka Vargu FC Platinum, Cheneka Arbi Chicken Inn, and Ukada Ucharis that they've got exciting youngsters in that team. They've got also experienced players, Manana King Nadolo and Timon Mvula as well. They are highly experienced. But Ukata, the position that they are in, and this season, to be honest, I never gave them the chance to survive. And I think...
Are you giving them a chance now with 2 matches to go?
I think it's a last kick of a dying hostage. You can't survive relegation each and every year. pese pamune muchingopinda pese munotanga muchitamba right, but games go by. Look at the games that they've been losing at Art Stadium. You could leader maybe by 2-0. The next thing is you hear you had lost by 3-2. So it's no fun to teach you. In terms of confidence, these niggas are low. Especially game ragu paid up fitness levels, double foot as well. Mental strength, panning a passisina. And it so to go to when they're playing Dynamos on Saturday, remember they're playing a team full of confidence. A team that is gone for almost 2-3 months now without a defeat. And so it tells you something, Kuti. It's a make or break on Saturday. And to be honest, if you had to concede, Kashinji Gajo, they go down. Look at the bench that they had on Saturday. Manondo was there, Terence Daga was there. You look at those boys.
So what is going on? I mean, in terms of personnel, they seem to have enough quality at the very least to survive.
Exactly.
I mean, they've changed coaches several times. Is that the issue that, they've been chopping and changing their technical team too much? Is it just, what is it? I mean, because when you talk about the players that they have on their books, you think they would be at the very least maybe mid-table?
I think in Mari, teach. You can't keep on surviving relegation using badare my players. And Sakanya Mari teach it's no need because sometimes you need to motivate players, not in Kutaura, but you need to motivate players. And Nemari, are they getting their salaries on time? Are they getting their winning bonuses on time? Traveling allowances, camping allowances, on time. Saka ukatasa yada nezvairi ini nangu teach yada ingada kutambira kumusoro. Yada is in a class yekuti when they brought in Takaendesa Jongwe and Ikapoti Masocha started with the team, played exciting football, they thought maybe no, let's bring in a highly experienced coach in Takaendesa Jongwe. The next thing is they have relieved him. That was the second time that he has come in. Last year he was there, he left for Blawa Chiefs, he came back again this year. Now Timiana Baba Gari, and it's Timu can go relegate where it's going to be Baba Gari's name because it's not going to be Takaendesa Jongwe's name. It's going to be Brenham Siska's name in Ingeribai. When we talk about relegation. So that's why you find Good Babagar is so confident. Because he can't just go in front of my journalist and say, no, 50% chance of surviving and 100% it's negative playing, next year. So every coach would say that. Maybe.
But in your opinion, right, just quickly, we're talking about the teams that will survive or that will go down. Looking at Jada, will they survive?
With the way I saw playing Rentos on Saturday, teach. You can have that feel, Yakuti. The way they were playing, they were expressing themselves, and there was no pressure from the bench of saying let's go and score more goals. But it was more to do with letting the players, express themselves.
So would that freedom allow them?
If they play against Dynamos the way they played on Saturday, teach. To be honest, if they can get those 3 points, they can still have, let me say, 50-60% chance of surviving.
Veronica, let's talk about Yada's opponents on Saturday, Dynamos. They are not safe yet, just temporarily out the relegation zone. But, they're on a 9-match unbeaten run, especially since Calvin Kaindu came in. But I think it also then speaks to how difficult the situation they were in was when he came in, that, they can have that run of matches that they've had. Yeah, just look at those stats: a win against Moors, Kwekwe, Greenfield, Scotland. I think that was a big win. They drew against another relegation team, Triangle. They won the Harare Derby, drew against Ngezi, drew against Highlanders. They won against Bikita Minerals. Despite all this work, they are far from safe. How big is this game for Calvin Kaindu and Dynamos in terms of their survival chances, given that after that they'll be left with just one match to play?
Yeah, I think this coming weekend is more of a defining moment for them. If they collect the 3 points, they move to 40 points. And survival will be now a reality with a game to spare. But if they don't collect the points, then it means that they need to go and collect 3 points against FC Platinum.
On the final day of the season.
Yes, and that is provided if the other teams are also going to draw points and create room for them. But you wouldn't want to get up to the last day of the season with calculators in the hand muchida kutotambirwa bhora nevamwe. Look what happened with the Black Rhinos that other season. Vakatemba kuti tichatambirwa bhora neDynamos, and then things happened the other way around. And so I think they need to come out guns blazing against Yada and collect maximum points. But also looking at the position that Yada are, it's not going to be easy because Yada are also fighting to survive. And looking even at the experience, the quality in these teams, if we are to be honest with each other, I think when we look at the reserve side, the bench, I think Yada has got more experience. They've got more depth on their bench compared to Dynamos. So I'm just hoping that Kelvin Kaindu is going to be very tactical when he approaches this one, especially in the absence of Emmanuel Jalai, who is going to be out serving suspension. Obviously, they need someone to step up and be that leader. They need someone to step up and fit into Emmanuel Jalai's shoes in the right back.
Tati, obviously we've heard from Veronica and David, just maybe tackling the different strategies or angles that either Yada or Dynamos can probably sort of employ to try and survive relegation. Looking at those two teams, can you see them both surviving, or are both going down? Or one is going up, one is going down?
Yeah, all the three scenarios are very possible. They can survive both. They can.
Yeah, I know that, but I wonder what is your opinion in terms of what you think is going to happen?
Yeah, it's quite intriguing and very interesting, the week that we are facing. I think if Yada beat Dynamos, they automatically leapfrog them on goal difference because they will be both on 37 points. That means they just need to win the other match and then survive maybe.
So so it's a 6-pointer for Yada. If they get a win, and then they know they've taken care of Dynamos and their fate is in their own hands.
Yes, of course. And also Dynamos have got their fate in their own hands. So if they beat Yada and maybe they force a draw against FC Platinum, they will also survive. So on Saturday I'm giving it to Yada.
And then looking at the other teams in the matrix there, your Bikita Minerals, your Green Fuel, your Triangle, Manica Diamonds are still in there. Of those teams, all right, Kwekwe United are going down. If I was to say, all right, if you were a betting man and you were to put money on it now, which are the other three teams that you see joining Kwekwe United?
Yeah, quite a difficult one, but I will attempt. I think those.
No, you will have your turn.
Okay, you can. Okay. You can record this. You can record this. Okay. I think the three teams to join Kwekwe United are Yada, Greenfield, and Bikita Minerals.
Yada, Greenfield, and Bikita Minerals.
Yes.
Veronica, the three teams that you think are going down and won't see them in the Castle Premier Soccer League next season.
For me, I think Yada, Greenfield, and Triangle.
Yada, Greenfield, and Triangle. You said Yada, Greenfield, and Bikita, is it?
Yes. Yada, Greenfield, and Bikita Minerals.
And Bikita Minerals. So Yada, Greenfield seem to be favourites for relegation. David, Caps United, safe? Dynamo, safe? Manica Diamonds? I know you don't like my team. Do you think they're going to survive?
I like all the teams. But when you analyze, teams the way they are playing. You know what? I'm still surprised in Yada. When Dynamos was at its worst, Yada lost to Dynamos by a goal to nil. That's why Pananchins going Babagar was told could they 100%, sure good next year Yada will be playing in the Premier League, but they also need to get past Dynamos for them to have a chance of surviving relegation. Because remember, these are the teams, as long as the teams that are above them wins their games to 37 points, and if Yada doesn't get to 37, they are gone on Saturday. They are gone. And this is a 3-point.
So it's a must-win.
It's a 3-point game for Yada. Nothing short of a victory. They are gone. But then when I was telling you some fixtures as well. But when some fixtures, my teams are in relegation. The teams with the most difficult fixtures, one chicken in. Manica Diamonds, Highlanders, they've got difficult fixtures. And look at Triangle. They can afford to win a game per home. And their last game is against the Greenfield. So, Musiwo ndo musi unobuda either Triangle or Greenfield. The two of them, one of them will go down
so those,
on that day.
Those fixtures there for the remaining teams. For Caps United, they face Moors and Kwekwe United. So that seems like
Triangle's fixtures. I know that.
Bikita very dangerous.
for Bikita in Simba Bora and Manica Diamonds.
Yeah.
That's tricky. Chicken in of Ngezi and Highlanders. That's a Dynamos,
Diamonds
the FC Platinum. We've also got Manica Diamonds, Highlanders, and Bikita Minos.
So that's why I was saying kuti vana vasikunyanya kutarisa mafixtures, but ukatarisa Triangle can afford to win against pa home pavo.
Triangle has got Kwekwe.
Yeah, they can afford to win against Kwekwe with a bigger margin. And then the last game against Greenfield, they can put everything and get a draw, and they survive. And but ukatasa Manica Diamonds, to be honest, they are not yet safe.
Yeah.
And they can only be safe if Greenfield loses on Saturday.
It's going to be
Yada loses, and then the last game, and because it was also Greenfield, Yada, if they don't win on Saturday,
Bikita on their last game, another team that will be better.
And
So I mean, looking at having taken all into that, I've got to going on my team. Analyze the water, analyze my fixture, just say, chituza kuti dzimwe 3 dziri kudonha dzedzipedzi.
pane 3 dzedzi ukatarisa Yada, for me it's one of those teams that is going down.
Okay, Yada, yep.
Then Greenfield, if they don't beat the champions on Saturday, they're gone as well.
Okay, Greenfield.
There's a toss there. Chicken in, Manica, Bikita.
But pick one. These guys were very clear.
No, there's a toss between those 3.
Yeah, but
that's why I said
one.
there's a toss between those 3. I can choose. I can pick those 3. The next week was a tower of Manica Diamonds.
So you are saying Manica Diamonds?
Yada and Greenfield.
Okay. All right, that's it. We'll be back shortly, and we'll wrap up our couch edition of 4 this week with a look at some of the top performers and who we think are going to make the calendar come the 2025 Soccer Star of the Year calendar which will happen at the end of the season. So we'll just try and pick the brain of our analysts in here, and they seem to relatively agree when it came to the teams that are going down. I think the 2 teams that you guys are, Yada and Greenfield. Yada and Greenfield as well. So those are the 2 teams that we think there's just a slight disagreement. I don't know what kind of analyst thinks Manica Diamonds is going. Not going anywhere. We'll be here next season. So I'm joking.
Don't be surprised in the result with Bikita no going to Simba Bora. Because of late, I think there are a lot of things that we have to look into Simba Bora. Why are they not winning their games? It's not about it's not about but you get to sumo because remember Ika win up in a game 39 points, so which means they are much safer. Compared to the rest of the teams in the pass. Chicken in if they don't win. Remember to go Islanders by weekend. And that's another tour all day.
All right, anyway, let us know which
so
team
we keep on playing mates.
Yeah,
we keep on playing chess game.
Yeah.
Game
Anyway, that's it. Yes, so get in touch with us on our social media platforms. I'm speaking with my heart. Apana kana analysis kana emotion. Njubo na yangu yekumusha isadzuka kumusha. Tirambe tiri kokuno.
Guy we know Baba Fields Saturday.
All right, we'll be back shortly and we'll give you our opinions on who we think are some of the top performers from this season.
They call me Racer X, or in this case, Racer J. All right.
Put your seatbelt on.
I think we can all agree that, this has been one of the most complicated, if not fascinating, relegation battles that we have witnessed in recent times. I mean, just looking at the different permutations for all the teams and the relegation team matrix, and we're talking about half the teams in the league until maybe Sunday evening will probably not be Saturday evening. Saturday evening. All games are being played on a Saturday. That just shows you as well, because usually it's only on the final day of the season that the games are played at the same time. But I think even the league knows that there's so much at stake in terms of the relegation. But let's move away from the teams. We started the show with a celebration of Scotland and what they have done in terms of winning a title in their debut season. But let's talk about the individual players, because we're getting to that time of the year. Yeah. And I think, Teddy, I'll start with you, without maybe just going down through your 11 or your potential 11. Do you feel like there have been any individual players who've really lit up the league this season, whether it's at the top, in the middle, or at the bottom? Before you even give us names, have there been standout players for you? Is it clear when you think about the soccer stars to say, the top performers, it's obvious?
So I think this has been one of those years that we haven't seen any player standing out like in the previous seasons. Maybe it's about tactics. Maybe coaches now prefer their teams to play more as a team rather than having individuals express themselves. So I think apana patinganyasoti ningakadzia ningeona masira angachita vanhu. However
I think we're going in the same direction. I know you're part of the voting panel. How hard does that make your job now in terms of selecting the 11 that will go on the calendar and maybe voting for the top player of the year? When you look at it and you can't see any standout players, what then are you going to be thinking about now in terms of then trying to pinpoint who you think the top performers might be?
Yeah, quite a difficult one, Mr. Teach. But our job being to select those players who have stood out. I think we'll look at goals scored, at the number of maybe clean sheets for the goalkeepers, for the defense. You look at a team like Scotland that is considered the least number of goals and scored the most number.
Yes. So this is what, using your own criteria. So Washington Avaya, now for you, does he make the list? I mean, 17 goals scored.
Yeah, for me, I think he is quite a contender for the top one, for the soccer star of the year, actually.
For the top. Yeah. And looking at clean sheets, who are some of the goalkeepers that you think?
Yeah, there are two goalkeepers with 15 clean sheets. That is William Tole from Simba Bora, as well as Takudzo Chikos at Triangle. The 15 clean sheets across two teams. He started with the Rangers and then he is now playing for Triangle. So those are the two goalkeepers.
And the top performer from Scotland. I'm using your own criteria. The top performer from Scotland.
The
one that you think, all right, if we were to look at it, is the player that was the best at Scotland based on what you said your considerations are.
Yeah, so you look at a team like Scotland. Remember earlier we spoke about depth. So there was a lot of rotation from coach Tondre Ndirai, but there was one player who played in all the 32 games. In all the 32, but one he just set out one match against the Highlanders. That is Kelvin Moyo. So you also look at how he plays. You also look at how he chips those balls into the box. He has got so many pre-assists, not direct assists, and he has done a splendid job at the back.
So, I mean, Kevin, where I hear your justification. Does he make it onto the calendar, or just make it onto the calendar, or is it someone that you see potentially going all the way and winning the gong?
Yeah, maybe finally he can fancy his chances of winning the top gong. You remember in 2017, he lost it by just 2 points to Rodo Shinyengetere. He was the first runner-up. So this time around, maybe he can fancy his chances because he played really, really well.
All right, Veronica, we were talking about the relegation matrix. Just quickly, if a player is featuring for the teams that are going to get relegated, let's say by the end of the season, which is when we'll vote for a player, can a player be in a relegated team and make it in the calendar? In terms of your criteria, just quickly.
Yeah, I think if a player is outstanding for their team and they've played a crucial role in perhaps surviving relegation, I think they deserve to be in the Soccer Stars panel, in the Soccer Stars list.
Do you have any names, I think, from the teams that are battling relegation? Why are you guys laughing?
Yes.
Because we know what she's going to say. She's going to talk about Jalai.
It's time to speak. Let us speak.
Obviously, I would want to see Jalai back on that red carpet.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't make it to the Soccer Star of the Year. I know discussions have been going around and his name has been thrown as the favorite. But even if he doesn't make it, I think he deserves to be in the top 11.
Top 11, yeah, okay, yes. Top 11. Does he deserve to win it all if Dynamos get relegated?
Yes, he deserves.
Just give me 2 other names that you think should be on the calendar.
I think the issue of goalkeepers, I want to go back to what Tetia said. Yeah. I think because we don't have the technology, we have always resorted to looking at it from the clean sheet perspective. But I think a defender can claim that clean sheet as well.
So give me a defender.
I would give it to Kevin Moyo.
Kevin Moyo. And,
shrugging off competition in that tight camp, I think he deserves.
And just one more so that we can move to David. I know he's chopping at the bits.
No,
If by my choice for goalkeepers, I would look at Prince Tafire Mota. For me, in terms of saves, I think he has been updated this season.
Are you a Dynamos fan?
No.
Anyone from Caps?
If it wasn't for
anyone from
him,
Caps? A contender for you? Which player from Caps do you think could make it on the calendar? Quickly.
Let me be honest, Tish.
Quickly. I
think Stephen Kwaku would have been there.
The goalkeeper?
Yes, yeah. Because he's on 11 clean sheets now. But if you look at Caps United, in terms of where they are, it has to be him.
But, and defenders, I know you were a defender in your time, and you always worry about defenders are not considered because they don't score goals. As a defender who stood out for you, do you agree with these guys? They both put Kevin Moyo as a contender.
I've got Jita Simbabora, defender who has gone for almost 100 games. Webster Tafa.
Yep.
Jita, he has gone for almost 100 games. He hasn't missed a single game ever since Simbabora were promoted. So that tells you something good. Consistency and
just one more so that we can close. Navaya, does he make it?
Navaya, Timon Machope, for me, Billy Veremu. As for the strikers, I think those 3 deserve to be there.
All right. I think we'll have another show where you guys will come up with your 11. But for this week, a big thank you to Teddy, Veronica, and David. I'm Zatich. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.